PSG show Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still has big test to pass in bid to become Manchester United manager. After being appointed in December, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has passed a series of difficult tests as Manchester United manager, to the extent that speculation regarding him being tied down on a permanent basis has developed significantly. As well as improving the general mood surrounding the club, the Norwegian has demonstrated a tactical nous that has impressed and delivered consistent results. Gradually, with each win and each different opponent, various aspects have been learned about Solskjaer's management and how he'll approach different match scenarios. Solskjaer has overseen victories at Old Trafford against the perceived weaker teams, as well as wins at both the Emirates and Wembley. The final question mark about his United approach was how he would deal with a big opponent, and big game, at Old Trafford. With Liverpool and Manchester City on the horizon, it is an even more pertinent question, and he provided a glimpse of, if not a full answer, against Paris St-Germain. But how have his tactics altered depending on the opponent? Against the likes of Huddersfield, Bournemouth, Brighton and Burnley at Old Trafford, United opted to dominate the ball assertively and averaged 62% possession. Solskjaer employed his two favored systems in those contests, by using either the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, with the playing style being largely entertaining and free-flowing. Crucially though, whenever a lead was gained against these teams, United's desire to keep the ball largely remained, as shown below in the possession kept against Bournemouth. Against inferior teams away from home though, United's play has remained attacking, but has perhaps included slightly more caution and pragmatism. In these matches, against the likes of Cardiff, Newcastle, Leicester and Fulham, Solskjaer has placed less of an emphasis on possession compared to when playing at home, with an average of just under 55%. Notably, in these matches, Solskjaer's team steadily conceded possession and instead opted to counter as a means of remaining defensively secured to manage the scoreline. This is shown below as the possession graphic from the match away at Leicester. Then, when Solskjaer finally faced his first big team, another detail was learned. United faced Spurs away from home, and this time willingly conceded possession entirely, with Solskjaer opting to use counter-attacking as his primary approach. He also switched to a diamond system to counteract the opposing team, which is an alteration he hadn't previously made. The approach taken was reminiscent of that employed numerous times by Sir Alex Ferguson, with United showcasing their countering proficiency countless times away from home in previous years under the legendary Scot. The possession story against Spurs is highlighted in the graphic below. Although the line appears to follow a similar pattern to when playing Leicester, it's important to notice that at no point in the match does United's possession share rise above 50%. Which is the key point to note here. The case was the same when playing away to Arsenal in the FA Cup, as United largely conceded the ball, switched to the diamond formation, and favored counter-attacking as their primary style. Ultimately, this evidence suggests that Solskjaer is adaptable relative to the match situation that he's faced with. At home against weak teams, United assumed the dominant role. Away against weak teams, United assumed the dominant role but managed leads by counter-attacking. Away against top sides, United assumed the inferior role by purely counter-attacking. That leaves just one question unanswered. Against PSG, some insight was offered in relation to the last remaining unknown, how Solskjaer will approach big sides at Old Trafford. Generally, the inferior counter-attacking approach that was witnessed at Spurs is less accepted by supporters when playing at home, with most fans preferring a more positive mindset. As a result, despite the strength of PSG, it was sure to be interesting to see what Solskjaer opted for. When focusing on the match, it looks as though there was definite intent for United to assume the dominant role, but it didn't happen perfectly due to PSG's quality. The Reds started the match in their customary 4-3-3, without adjusting to the previously favored diamond. The possession share ended at 48% for United, and 52% for PSG, with the story pictured below. The graphic offers less value than the ones previously used, but it does demonstrate that there's a clear struggle for possession, with United's share varying throughout the course of the match. Overall, Solskjaer has showcased a level of flexibility to his approach since taking charge in December, and it's apparent that his plan of attack is largely dependent on the match scenario. Presently, the evidence against PSG doesn't offer enough to be conclusive, but it appears that at Old Trafford, it's likely that Solskjaer's team will always look to assume the superior role, rather than occasionally being fearful as was the case under Jose Mourinho at times. With the match against Liverpool on the horizon, more understanding will surely be learnt in the coming weeks.